now going to move on to our next case study. Let's please welcome Jeff Young, who's the National Director for Healthcare at Garda World.
Yeah, thanks. And thanks again for inviting me and again, taking part in the Focus on Healthcare event. Thought I'd just change things up a little bit and talk about one other area of security risks that we deal with in the hospitals is our heliports and heliport safety. And very briefly, 10 minutes, just to give you some thoughts on to consider for your heliport. If you have a hospital heliport at your location, usually security is involved in some ways. Sometimes there manages the heliport operation. So just wanted to take you through a couple of ideas here on the risks associated, some mitigation strategies, and response that you should consider to have in place. A little bit about me. I've 20 plus years on the health authority side out west, and I'm currently the National Director for Healthcare Vertical for Garda World, and also heavily engaged with IHSS over the years. I served 2 board terms, including being the association president back in 2016. So again, thanks for having me. A little bit about Garda World in Canada here. We've got a number of hospitals across the country, coast to coast, and you see some recognized names there. Hopefully we have some folks from our clients on the call today. And just to see our mantra there, and it's one of my personal ones, is that, you know, our job is really to support the clinicians to allow them to focus on providing that exceptional patient care in a safe environment. A little bit of overview. Well, hospital-based heliports are obviously needed to ensure emergency, time-sensitive trauma care. Crashes are rare, but they do occur. And what prompted this, I sent this out to my team across the country several months ago. There was a helicopter crash at a hospital in Los Angeles where the helicopter crashed, flipped on its side. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured. It was transporting an organ, a heart, and the heart was recovered. And good news was the heart was actually successfully transplanted into a patient. So though rare, it does occur, and this is just a reminder for us. Within Canada, we have Transport Canada, which has oversight, and there's legislated regulations that we need to adhere to. My experience has been mostly out in British Columbia. When we look at the heliports for the Lower Mainland, there's data available, 8 of the 9 Lower Mainland heliports. Currently trending towards almost 1,000 landings and takeoffs this year for those heliports, with the busiest one, not too surprising, the big large hospital, acute care hospital, the Vancouver General Hospital, projected at 267 landing takeoffs for the year. So busy, getting busier, I would suggest, as traffic impacts that, and the need for timely care, getting those patients to the hospital in a timely manner. Again, referencing my old program in the Lower Mainland, we developed in 2012 a formal heliport management program. Proud to say that the team was recognized by Accreditation Canada, and I believe the only security-led leading practice ever recognized by Accreditation Canada. So if you go on the Accreditation Canada website, you'll see the heliport management program recognized as a leading practice. And really, it was to ensure our safety procedures, and obviously to meet those regulations, and ultimately going back to the mantra of keeping the heliports open and operational safety to support exceptional patient care. Just as a reference, here is the Transportation Canada standards and regulations that we point to. You should expect, and I know we did see regular formal inspections by the Transport Canada inspectors, as well as ad hoc inspections and visits. They would be out on flying and visiting various heliports, and would just pop in to our heliports to check in and ensure that we're in compliance with the regulation. Some risk issues that you should be considered. I've listed quite a few there. The one I kind of wanted to focus on and bring to your attention was the construction cranes. as we, I think across the country, are seeing our aging infrastructure go through redevelopment. When you go through that redevelopment process, ensure that you're engaged with the redevelopment team for those cranes that are going up that might impact the heliport, the flight path, and ensure that you're plugged in there so that you can ensure that the heliport remains operationally as much as possible during the redevelopment. The risk mitigation strategies, obviously, if you've got risks, we try and mitigate those risks. And again, here are some things to pay attention to. Have those regular heliport inspections. They should be done on a regular basis and should be done previous to any landing. And that's why it's important to have that communications with your air ambulance dispatch, your helicopter pilots, etc., to ensure that you get a heads up, a timely heads up that you can go and ensure the helipad is clear of obstacles and debris. The other thing, which is relatively new, is the drones or the RPAS awareness protocol, and ensure that drones aren't within the area that obviously can impact aircraft. Again, that tie into redevelopment. A lot of our redevelopment folks, construction companies, even our own internal communications teams within the hospitals love to get pictures and at times use drones to take aerial photos of the redevelopment project. Ensure that you're connected with them so they're not flying a drone while you're trying to land a helicopter. Policies, training, obviously pretty standard stuff for us in the security world, but ensure our folks are trained for the daily heliport inspections. What are they looking for? Checking windsock, checking for debris, checking for ice, checking for snow, those other items that risk that were identified under the risk slide. Ensure their documentation, document every landing takeoff. They have that data available so that you can answer questions whether or not the usage is going up, going down. Fire safety is obviously a key here. Ensure that fire suppression systems are tested by a certified company and the required timing. And also include various stakeholders too. You've got your ambulance service, your dispatch, Transport Canada, get to know your inspector, and a helicopter provider. A lot of provinces across the country will outsource the operations of the aircraft. And this is the key, and this is a lesson learned from my past where I had a facility that had a heliport. The heliport provider bought a brand new state-of-the-art helicopter. It was great, but it weighed more than the previous helicopter, and nobody bothered to really check about the weight rating of our heliport, which was on top of a parkade, and what resulted in us having to spend significant dollars to reinforce the helipad, the heliport, to allow this new helicopter to land. So again, get to know those folks as well. Fire safety, emergency response, ensure you've got a good plan in place for a response. Invite your local fire safety or fire department folks over, have them get to know the heliport, and in particular the fire suppression systems that are on site, where the nearest hookup is, etc. They tour your hospital on a fairly regular basis anyways, but ensure that your heliport is part of their tour as well. Ensure your internal response too for any kind of a emergency, a fire code red response as well on site. Ensure things like air intake are shut down automatically, so that if there is an incident and you have fire or have smoke, that's again not sucked into the hospital ventilation system. That's it. It's a real quick 10-minute presentation that I would like to recognize my old program, Integrated Protection Services in the Lower Mainland, British Columbia, Dave Brown, John Acorn, Tom Vukolich, and in particular Edwin Torillo, who manages the 9 heliports for IPS out here in the West Coast. So thank you, Neil, and pleasure being here as always.
Thanks very much, Jeff. Question from attendee: have you started to think about the impact to your security program with the various drone programs starting to deliver organs?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that they will come. There's actually a side story. I've actually invested in a Canadian Drone Delivery as a company that I personally follow. They have drone delivery of medical supplies to up north in the Aboriginal community. So they're actually delivering medication now from certain hubs. I know Edmonton is a hub where they will deliver medicine to reserves in the north. So I think that's a reality that's going to occur, and we should plan for it moving ahead for sure. Yes.
Thanks, Jeff.